So you are ready, are you? Okay, good. So thank you everybody for coming here. I'm really positively surprised to see so many people interested in picture postcards. So I think this is a very good sign for the FIP that it really has been the time to launch this class as an official class in the future exhibitions. Can you all hear me? Yes. Good, very good. So today I'm not actually going to tell about how to build a picture postcard exhibit, but instead I will tell you how we are proceeding towards the new guidelines for this new class. Could you please check? And here is the agenda for my presentation. First of all, I will tell you about the group, the working group of picture postcard class. Then tell about some of our primary goals and how we are planning to proceed towards the new guidelines. And what has been changed? There are a few small changes, not anything very serious, mainly clarifications, and what will happen next. And here is the working group we have. It was appointed in April this year, and Abdullah Khoury, who is sitting in front here, he's the FIP board member and our liaison officer for picture postcards. Then we have the co-chair. Where's Jeff? Jeff is here from New Zealand, and myself, I'm the secretary, and the other members of the group are Brian Callan from Ireland, Liz Heisey from USA, and Roger Tan from Singapore. I think Roger was just here, but then he disappeared. And the work started by a Zoom meeting in June this year. Hello. The primary goals are the new guidelines, or as we just learned in the meeting where we came from, that actually we cannot do it exactly as we thought, that we combine the regulations and the guidelines to have only one set of rules, because the FIP prefers to have regulations, the SREV, and then guidelines how to implement them. But I think what we will do is that we will just adjust the format, the structure of our what we have been doing so far. So we are not going to create the wheel once more, but instead we are organizing it a little bit differently, and I think that will not be a very huge work. Can you see anything? No, of course not. No, you can only listen and see my back. Sorry about that. And we have tried to keep the guidelines. I'm now talking about guidelines, but it means now SREV and guidelines both together. We try to keep them as simple as possible and easy to understand, so that it would not be too difficult to start a new collecting area. And we try to get the proposal ready for the next FIP Congress, which will take place in Seoul 2024. And then we will also, as all other classes, we will have a website under the FIP umbrella. And we already have, we haven't yet started to show it, but we have started to plan it at least, and it's ongoing by the person in charge is Charles Romsey from Australia. So we are these are the things we are concentrating on at the moment. And the process so far. So Jeff and I, we were first gathering different regulations from various parts of the world, because everybody is not yet using the FIP regulations. The Americans have their own ones, and there are also some others. But instead of starting from scratch, we started to see what the differences are between the regulations and guidelines at the moment, because we wanted to unify them. And now we need to see how to separate them again, but that's our problem, and doesn't actually mean so much for the contents. And first that was the first draft, and then Jeff and I, we were sending emails and kind of what's the word? Uniforming our views about the contents, and I think we got a quite nice compromise there. And the final draft was then, of course, sent to the working group, and everybody had their possibility to what's the word? To give feedback, and we were discussing all different views. And what has been changed? So no radical changes, mainly clarifications. And for example, there was this, now I should read it because I don't remember it by heart. In current regulations, a picture postcard must have an illustration, and furthermore, used picture postcards circulated through the postal service or in any other manner treated postally must show that they have been through a postal service. And this has been, can you change again? Can you change? This has been widely understood because the exhibitors have thought that they have to show that each postcard has been sent without, with a kind of using mail. And they thought they need to explain stamps and rates and cancellations, etc. And this is not what they should be doing. There is no need to add scans of the address sites to show that the card has been sent by post. And many also, they have told me that they thought that their exhibits would look more serious if they use some philately there as well, so that because they are showing it in philatelic exhibitions. But they can be serious by using their theological knowledge, and that's definitely not the problem. There is no need to talk about philately because it's not part of the picture postcard class. And here actually the text says what I was just telling, I guess. We have just left out that complicated sentence so that people don't need to think about it. And in picture postcard class, only the picture side matters. Then we have a question which has perhaps mostly been talked about, and there are different opinions about that. It's also about the definition of the picture postcard. Is a pictorial stationary postcard, can it be used in a postcard exhibit? And here there are different views, starting from New Zealand, where it has been thought that it's forbidden, and in America the rules say that yes, you can certainly use them, and in the FIP rules there's nothing told about stationery separately. And as well, let's go further. I will talk about it more. Here you have two examples of postcards. They look very much the same. This one is a pictorial stationary postcard, while the other one is a picture postcard. And you can see, or you cannot see, but on the other side, that this is actually a 1 cent postal card with 2 cents added to be sent to Europe, and the other one has a 2 cent stamp. So that they have both been sent by mail in the same way. The only difference is that there is a 1 cent value printed on the back side. And can you go further? What have I told here? A pictorial stationary postcard, or a postal card, as they say in many countries. It has been, it has a picture, as you saw, for example, in that example. So it has also been meant to be sent by post without cover. So it's very difficult if we start to restrict that. Yes, it has a picture, it has been meant to be sent by cover, but there is a value stamped on the other side. There is another if you go further, another definition problem. Can you use maximum cards? And here you can see an example of a French card which was used in the early 1900s, and you can see that there's a stamp there and a nice cancellation. And this was very popular in France at that time. They were often using this kind of they wanted to decorate the card in a personal way, so that they put the stamp on that side and it was cancelled. But this is not a maximum card according to the current regulations of maximum filet class, so it's certainly not good for a maximum card, and it's a normal postcard, and of course you can use it in your picture postcard exhibit. There is no reason why you shouldn't. Then what comes to modern maximum cards, which have been made according to the current regulations, they perhaps don't fit so well in a picture postcard exhibit, but if you have a few of them, so I don't think it's very serious. It's very much about how you describe it. If you describe it according to maximum philatelic rules, it's perhaps better to put them in that class. But if you are describing it as a picture postcard, I think it's okay to have it. And that's what our group also thought when we were discussing that. But both these two, the stationaries and the maximum cards, are kind of they are different kinds of postcards, but they fill the definition of the postcard. They have a picture, and they are meant to be sent by post without cover. And now in the proposal we have made, we have their compromising sentence telling that they can be used in a minor role. But even that is a restriction, which is kind of do we need to restrict the material in this way? So that's something that I hope that we will get opinions about. What else? Can you go further? Thank you. There are also there have been questions about can you use some additional non-picture postcard material in your exhibit. I learned in Essen, where I was judging in last spring, that the Germans are recommended to add something like 5 or 10% of the material, something different than picture postcards, that it would be kind of positive. And they had all kinds of medals and pendants and train tickets and whatever. And that is not the idea, because they cannot be sent by post without cover. So they don't fit in the definition of the postcard. And they should not be put in an exhibit, except there are always exceptions. And in this case, if you have a topographic exhibit, for example, you are showing views from your hometown, and you want people to understand from where those pictures have been taken or the route where you have been walking around the city. So it's very much okay to have some maps there where you can show from where these pictures have been taken. And also original photographs or drawings which show what was the original of the picture, the postcard. Those are very fine. You can certainly use them, and they will be rewarded. Some forerunners may also be okay if you are telling about the development of the postcard. So things that I wish should be considered are that is there a need to leave out such material as postal stationeries or maximum postcards when they do have a picture and they have been meant to be sent by post? Do we need to restrict the material, or is it better to leave it to the exhibitor whether he wants to include them or not? They do have their own classes in philatelic meetings. There is a stationery class, there is a maximum class. They can also be used in thematic class, in open philately, and stationaries can be used in postal history as well. And picture postcards can be shown in open philately, so there is no need to restrict them to only one class because it's not happening anyway. So personally, I would like to keep the doors open and kind of let people make the choice themselves. But this is something that we need to find out what to do with this. But one possibility would be to keep them out from the regulations and perhaps have some recommendations in the guidelines. But this is something we need to figure out. Then another, that was about the definition of the picture postcard, and other important part of the new guidelines or regulations is that we would like to get a more precise division between points. Normally, the large picture of the points is the same as in any other class. We have 30, 35, 30, and 5. And there is not going to be any change in that. But we thought that knowledge and research is a little bit too large, what's the word? Lot. Too large number to give, to evaluate what is 35, when do you have 35 really. So we divided it in thematic knowledge and deltiological knowledge. And this is actually, it's giving more idea to the exhibitor about what is possible to get and how you might get those points, and also for the judges so that they can evaluate a little bit closer. Thematic knowledge, I think, is rather easy to understand. That's your story as a whole, and about how you have chosen the pictures, the postcards. Deltiological knowledge. Deltiological is a term that is not familiar everywhere. In some countries, you talk about technical or technological. Which one is the right one? What you have been using, technical or technological?
I think in Australia and Asia, we tend to use technical knowledge.
Technical, yeah.
Whereas in America and Europe,
you use
deltiological, but it's
the
same thing.
Yeah, deltiological is perhaps more about the card as a whole, so that it includes also except printing and printer and publisher. It also includes the artwork of the artist, which is not actually technical, it's more like artwork. And also the usage when it has been sent and so on. So that is theological is the word for all that. So the total will still be 35. There is no difference in that. Then we had other questions.
Just before we move on to that one, what I should say is in recent exhibitions in Asia and Cape Town and so on, that 15 to 20 split has been used unofficially by the judges. So you may not know it, you may end up with a number which is out of 35, but we have split that into 15 and 20. And if exhibitors have been there or if I've contacted them afterwards, I've given them that split. So what we're proposing here is no different, it's just formalising.
Yeah, actually that is only in Asia because we haven't had it anywhere else. But anyway, so I think it's not a bad idea. So I think it's good to split them and it's important to show that theological knowledge.
We're more advanced in this part of the world. Is that what it amounts to?
Perhaps we have given more freedom to our. Anyway, so. The next thing we were considering was about importance. Should importance be part of the new rules? Because in some classes there is importance, and they are, for example, in postal history, I think it's 10 points you can get of importance, but that's of course taken out from something else. And of course, it's not easy to evaluate importance even in for example, postal history, but in picture postcards it's even more difficult because we don't have so many catalogs of postcards. We don't have that much studies, research yet. So how do you what is important? Of course, if you have an exhibit of a minor town somewhere, not so important town, or you have a big city, you can perhaps say that, okay, the big city is more important than the small town. But in many other topics, it's not so easy to say. So after some discussion, we thought that we haven't had it earlier, there is no need to have it, so we are not proposing anything like that in the picture postcard rules in the future either. So that idea has been left out. Then we come to rarity, and here we have the same problem, no catalogs, not very much research yet about picture postcards. So how do you know what is rare? For example, artist-signed postcards, there actually are quite a good catalogs of some parts of them, so you can easily pick up the prices even, and you can see whether they are easy to find or not, but in most cases it's not so easy. And we thought that it might be good to add something in the guidelines. We are not going to take anything away. We are already saying there that rarity is directly related to the difficulty in finding such postcards, the difficulty of acquisition, and how difficult would it be to duplicate the exhibit. This is about the same as in many other classes as well. And we want to add there specifically that how rarity will be shown in the exhibit should be described on the title page, so that the exhibitor should be kind enough to tell the poor judges how to find those items that the exhibitor think are the things that are the rarest ones, and also to tell why he thinks that they are rare. Refer to some research or catalogs or his own studies or whatever, but just to make it clear that there is a reason why they are marked rare. And what is happening next? When first we need to make some adjustments to the current proposal, because we have built it up a little bit differently from what the FIP actually would like to have. So we need to change it a little bit, but we are certainly ready to send them for the FIP board in time, so that they can approve, hopefully, them, and then send them to the national federations in time, so that they can be taken on the list in the next Congress in Seoul in 2024. And we hope that we get them approved there, so that the new guidelines or rules, whatever you call them, will be taken in use approximately in 2025, whichever is the first possible exhibit. So this is about what I was going to tell you about the process, how it's proceeding at the moment. I do have also the whole proposal here on the slides, but I think it's not necessary to show them now, because we need to change the form. So this will all be on the new website when we get it done soon. But Jeff and I, we both certainly want to answer to all your questions. Whatever you have in mind, please do.
Any questions?
I have two.
Yeah?
You talked about the golden period, 1896 to 1915. During this period, the UPU rules regarding postcards evolved.
Yeah.
How important is that to bring out in the exhibit the undivided back, divided back?
That's a good point.
I'll just finish my question.
Sorry.
Writing on the front and back, etc. How does one bring it out? One. And two, when you put up your website, can you post these UPU rules there as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we are going to put as much as possible on the website to help people to understand what to do. But about undivided and divided back, so in 1902 in Great Britain, that was the first country who divided the address side in two, so that you could put the name and address on the right side, and you could add your greetings on the left side, instead of being forced to write on the picture side, because you were not allowed to. Sorry, I will continue, but I'm just waiting if I. Thank you. So, yeah. Sorry. I will tell about this. How should I? Well, okay. Divided back. I guess you all know the difference between undivided and divided back. So that happened in Great Britain in 1902. In some other countries in 1904. That was. France, for example, I think Germany came 1905, Finland came 1905. In the end of 1906, UPU made a decision about that, and after that also other countries joined this. They started to divide the bags. Americans were among the last ones in 1907. And it's good to show, you don't need to show scans about it. It's just you mention in the caption, in the picture text, undivided back or divided back, and the point of this is that in that way, even if it's an unused postcard, so you can easily see that it must have been printed before 1904, for example, if that country had taken the divided back in use at that time. So it gives you the time period when the card was printed, and that's why it's important. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. But I personally, I don't even use undivided back. I use UDB and DB. And on the front page, I just have a small text that UDB means undivided back, and it was used during this period, etc. So it's very easy, and you don't need to have scans all over the exhibit. So that was a good question. Thank you.
This question
Yeah.
of divided back.
Yeah.
See, it is meant to be supposed, it is going to be posted. I've seen cards where instead of a dotted line, they have some written matter which basically divides the address space from the written area to the address area. Then there are cards where there is no clear-cut division. It says postcard.
Yeah.
When it's meant to be posted. Now, without any differentiation of writing area and address area, if there is a postcard,
Yeah.
or if the division, if you is dividing, you write publisher's name or something along the division,
Yeah.
which clearly demarcates the address area and this thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's okay?
Yeah, of course, it's fine. The only reason to mark undivided or divided is just to give an idea about when the card was printed. It doesn't matter otherwise. If it's written on the picture side or not, that's fine, because people might have written there anyway. But just to give an idea about the about the time period. So that's the only reason for this. It's not philately. It's not really anything else. It's just to give you the idea. If your card is from 1930s, it's no use to put divided back, because 1930s is anyway, everybody had divided back at that time. So it depends on but if there is a text like this and postcard, that's fine.
And some museum postcards
Yeah.
have they're just some
Yeah.
written matter behind.
Yeah.
Nothing to suggest that it's meant to be posted.
Yeah.
But can they be used?
Yeah. Sure.
It's a postcard.
Yeah.
It has, on the reverse side, it has written matter.
Yeah.
There is nothing to show that it is meant to be posted,
Yeah.
as an address line or divided or anything.
Yeah.
But can it be used?
Yeah. If there is some kind of marking that it's meant to be posted, that you can post it without if there is the text postcard, or if there are address lines, or if there is a stamp box printed there, so it's all fine. It doesn't. You don't need to have everything.
If nothing of those things are there.
Pardon?
If there is nothing of that, no stamp box, no address line, no division.
Then you can't use it. Then you can't use it. Although if it's used, if it has been sent by post, yeah, then it's fine. But if it's not sent and it's just blanco, you can't use it. Okay. Yes.
When you're talking about maxi cards,
Yeah.
there are maxi cards in the exhibits here.
Yes.
They're not maxi cards.
Yeah.
They are, it's a concordance of ideas, not a visual concordance. Would it be a good idea
Yeah.
just to add a little note at the end of that section to say, a maxi card must have visual concordance.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are some nice ones down there in postcard ones, but they're not maxi cards.
Yeah, but they are. I think that the exhibit. I think you are talking about the exhibit where the maxi cards are all from before 1949. You mean that one? Because there was one which was left it was not evaluated at all, because they were all maxi cards, or the treatment was according to maxi class and not according to the picture postcard class, and that one was not evaluated at all.
This one just, it's a lovely card, but it's not a maxi card.
Yeah, okay, but we don't, in picture postcard class, we don't actually look at the maxi cards if they are made according to rules or not, because they are different rules. They are not the rules of the picture postcards. So yeah, Ahmed.
I want to ask, stupid question.
Yeah?
If you accepted to choose a topic like divided back design of picture postcard in the route, is a picture contraction?
I'm sorry, it's very difficult to hear because of this.
I want to ask a stupid question.
Yes?
If the designer, if the exhibitor wants to show divided back
Yeah.
design of picture postcards in the world, is that picture contraction?
Well, actually, you should be telling about the picture and not about the backside. So I wouldn't recommend you to do that.
It might depend on what your subject
Don't try.
is.
Yeah.
I've got an exhibit on a photographer, one photographer. So I can't say much about how they were produced and so on, because all produced exactly the same way. He did a number of printings, and the backs of his cards, where he has the box and the address line and so on, that varies quite a lot. So I've got a double page that shows about 16 of those, just overlap to show the different sorts of backs that he used over a period of time.
Yeah.
So it's an integral part of the story about that photographer and the papers that he used, but ordinarily no.
Yeah, you can use it just to show the differences of those, but you can very well overlap those and just show the small text what is different in them. You don't need to show them all, and definitely it wouldn't be a nice idea to show only the backsides of.
You could do that for a Hoosier. Now, a Hoosier produced dozens of cards, probably hundreds of cards for Burma, and had at least, Steve told me, at least 20 different sorts of backs. So again, you could not have them everywhere, but maybe just have a tiny section which overlaps all the cards showing the different types of design in the backs that you had.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions because this, but I will make it simple, otherwise it will hold there. Picture postcard, the guideline is clear, which one is used, which one is unused, and what we can show. My question is the picture postcard supposed to is already meant to be used. That's the basic guideline. But most of the exhibit shows these supposed to be meant to be used, but not used. And more exhibits, we can see the unused picture postcard. We know if we doesn't talk about the cancellers, routes, everything. But my feelings is like, if it's coming to the FIP class, it's related to the philately stamps kind of things. So why? Because previously it was view card kind of thing, some kind of calls view card. But if the exhibitors, because in Bangladesh, we have now 100 printers, more than. Mm-hmm. 2 printers, they have 40 years. Each year they print minimum 500. So in last 40 years, they printed like 2 printers, if I divide by is 40,000 picture postcard. Mm-hmm. And if we want to look that, we cannot get more than 10 used, actually need to be used picture, all is green kind of things. We can still go there and we can find the picture. That's why if FIP guideline have some sort of percentage, some other percent, how many we can put on the exhibits, like how many actually originally mean used, how many can use as a mean. Mm-hmm. So then it's more feelings like it's a philately in my sense, like it's supposed to mean to be like some ways postally used or kind of. It's not really talking about the backside, but it's on the backside should be some form of philatelic feeling. So how you actually define that?
Well, if I got your question correctly, so I think I would just like to add in the theological text that this card has been sent at that time from somewhere, but you don't need to and you are not expected to tell about stamps or rates or anything like that. Just tell them that this is a used postcard. It has been sent this at that time.
Now, I'm not talking about what I put the description.
Yeah.
I know that we don't have to talk
Yeah.
about the backside. But
Yeah. Okay.
my feeling is like when it's FIP class, it should be had the picture postcard. We are talking about all details about the picture by itself, the photographer, the printers, not talking about the backside. But it should be meant to be by philately kind of like postally used. That feels like it's have a picture postcard and also solve the philatelic purpose. Mm. But if it's 8 friends, 5 friends, all mean we all talking about the picture postcard photographers, but doesn't have relation with any stamps. We're not talking about the backside, but it should be like postally used, and we feel like it should be in the philatelic, like revenues is dealing with the stamps in the different class, kind of things.
No.
No.
We're,
It's 100% neat.
we're interested in the picture side. We're not
Yeah.
interested in the postal
Yeah,
history aspect.
yeah.
Unless it's a particular link to the picture side. So generally not. We don't care if a card is used or
Yeah.
unused. We're
Yeah.
dealing with the picture
Yeah.
side. And if you want to have a little table format, like some people, there's lots of exhibits here, you go and have a look, but some people like what I call a little table format. They have a little table, they say publisher, photographer, printer, date of use, all that sort of stuff. And quite often you'll see the written beside it, unknown, unknown.
Yeah.
Why are you telling me what you don't know?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're going to have
Exactly.
a table format, that's good, but only put the things in the table that you know for that particular postcard. Don't use this unknown.
Yeah.
How, beginner like me, how would I rate a rarity or scarcity of a card?
Oh God, I can answer that. I want to talk about rarity because as collectors, well, as me as a collector, I don't really care about rarity. I'm interested in the card for itself. But in an exhibition, it's worth 20 points. So if you're going to enter an exhibition, think that it's 20 points. There's only two things we're looking for. The first thing is, on the front page, is there a statement about how you are going to identify rarity? So maybe it's just going to put a red box around your better items, or maybe have a star. It's up to you as to how you do it, but
Yeah.
there should be a statement there. Second thing is, in the body of the exhibit, have you actually identified any rare cards? Now that might seem a silly question, but there's one exhibit here that says it's going to identify rarity. The red box is not a red box in the entire exhibit.
Yeah.
So actually have some. Now, who's going to know which cards are the rarest ones? For practically any subject you can think of, it's you. You've been collecting this for 25 years. You've
Yeah.
got a pretty good idea about what's rare and not, and what's more common. Just be careful how you say it though, because you can highlight something as rare, only one known, and in the Burma exhibit right next door there's another one, so you have to be a little bit careful about that. So it's up to you. Personally, as a judge, I look to see in each frame, has this person identified 3 or 4, that's enough, postcards that he or she considers to be rare, and have they explained why it's rare. So it may be that this card was produced by a publisher who was only putting out cards over an 18-month period. Or it may be that it was a private postcard, someone that took their own photograph, got it developed at the local photography shop onto picture postcard stock. So the numbers are going to be small, probably less than that. So you could identify that as being a rare card. So it's really up to you. Don't overdo it. There is an exhibit here that's got lots and lots of rare postcards, and they probably are, but that looks a bit overdone. But if you get, well, I look for 3 or 4 per frame.
Yeah.
That's probably enough.
Yeah.
But you need to have it because it's worth 20 points.
If it's a museum postcard, a museum has only the right to take out a special picture of postcard. They have the price. So if it's a limited edition, once only the museum has taken out those cards, could we consider them rare or scarce?
Well, you could, if there's not very many of them around, then yes, you could consider them scarce. What about some questions from this side?
Questions on this side?
Oh, half asleep.
No question, they mean you're all expert.
Come on.
If not, we're going to
No
call
lunch.
your name.
No lunch until we get that.
Any question?
Yes, the last one.
Last one, okay.
I'm Akhil from India. I'm an avid picture postcards collector. I have few questions. I'll merge it into one. So for the first one is, so in India, we usually collect, while saying the rarities and all, we have this archival material for stamps. But for picture postcards, we don't have any. So I don't see any archival material. But in India, the main picture postcard publishers were Clifton and Co. So they were the main photographers in Bombay.
Yeah.
So they had clipped many pictures in 1890s and 1880s for books. So same photos have been used as picture postcards after 10 or 20 years. So can I consider that as an archival material, the bigger photos what we have?
If it's a non-postcard image and it's been used somewhere previously, maybe on a half-plate photograph or something, and then exactly the same image is used on a postcard, and yes, that's sort of regarded as archival material or a forerunner. So yes, you could include both.
Similarly, these two images, so these were from Ravi Verma Press. So they have been used as a lithographs, chromolithographs,
Oh,
bigger
yes.
sheets.
Yeah.
So later they have been printed as a picture postcards, and we have this as a stamp also by India Post. So can we include them to tell the story of this particular picture in the exhibit?
Is there
Exact stamp.
address sides on the other side?
These are
Okay, yeah.
So so these were printed in 1906, and India Post have released the stamp in 1890s,
Yeah.
sorry, 1990s.
So are these modern ones or?
So these are modern ones, but
Yeah.
I mean to say the original cards.
Yeah,
You could use both,
yeah,
definitely, because we don't have, generally we don't have things like die proofs and so on
Yes, yes.
for postcards. So we have to think, well, what else could there be, which
Yeah.
is like a forerunner for a postcard. And so long as your forerunner and the postcard are exactly the same image, even though they might be different sizes and produced in different ways, then yes, that shows good technical knowledge.
yeah.
We
Of
have
course,
one
yeah.
in the Burma exhibit here. I saw the elephant as a big photo and then two picture postcards.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the example I was giving.
Is that
Yeah.
big picture? Is that an elephant or something? Is
Yes,
that the one?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The best thing would of course be that the forerunners you show would be original photos, for example, and not just taken from a book, but the same original photo that the book was using.
Yes.
If you got that one, so that's a good one. Yeah.
Thank you.
There are lots of exhibits here, so you can go and have a look. I presume the results if you can't find
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
They're trying to put up the.
So you
Yeah.
can go
It
and have a
should be
look
up to date,
and
should be up to date.
get an idea about, well, I like that idea and I don't like that idea, so you can work on your own exhibit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed my friends exhibit about postcard. It's every page of the postcards also display the reverse image. Every postcard. Its treatment is right.
Showing the back of every postcard.
Yeah, every
Reduced
every
size.
page,
Yeah.
every card shows the reverse
Yeah.
image.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's up down.
I think it's
But
you are using.
but that's a treatment.
Yeah.
It's spread about the printing and
Yeah.
reference and also the publication also.
Yeah.
You can say the reverse image.
Yeah.
But
It's-
maybe
it's not
for example,
needed.
word is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
how to show the image.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It-
that's right, Kevin. That's how a lot of postcard descriptions are. They describe the information on the back, so who published it, etc., etc.
Yeah,
You need to
yeah.
show the back.
Yeah, but you don't need to show it. It's good enough if you have it in a caption that it was published by this and this company and printed by this and this printing house. You don't need to show it because they are taking plenty of space, and it's because they are so small anyway that no judge can see what is said there. So it's just unnecessary to kind of show that we believe you when you write it in the caption. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, Peter.
Is the concept of storytelling included in your new regulations? That means storytelling of connecting the red thread, if you want, connecting
Yeah.
picture postcards across all the sheets and frames.
Yeah.
Yes, the good question is, if you didn't hear it, is there a storyline, so a red thread, if you like, connecting
Yeah.
front to another?
Yeah.
Yes.
The idea and the plan and the treatment should all go together in the same way as in thematics, for example. Yeah. that's the way how to build the storyline.
I have one question. The photographer who has taken the photographs in 1910 and it is not divided line and no postage area, but it is used as a postal ink. Can we use that photograph or postally used postcard in that activity?
Yes.
Lots of photographers are not known. So, but this don't say photographer unknown. Okay, so we're